Alright guys, welcome back. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about this Leupold VX-2. Now we will be going over all the specs on this scope as well as the specs on the rifle. It has been a little while since I've done a video on my Ruger 1022 build, so I thought it'd be fun to break this out tonight, talk about the VX-2 and a little bit about my Ruger 1022. Before we get into that, I want to give 1-800-GUNS and Ammo a huge thank you for sending this optic out for review. Those guys made me a discount code, and I'm not sure if a lot of people haven't seen it yet, but it's $15 off of any order $20 or more. That's insane. So if you go over there and order something for $25, you enter this code and you get $15 off of that order. And this goes for guns. I know a lot of companies give out coupon codes, and that code does not apply to firearms. But over at 1-800-GUNS and Ammo, the discount code listed below will take $15 off of any of your firearm purchases. So big thank you to those guys. Big thank you for them giving me the discount code to give to you guys. Now let's talk a little bit about this VX-2. So Leupold's been in the game for a long time, probably longer than I've been alive, making quality optics. Now in my opinion, you can't get better clarity for the money. I know there are a lot of great optics out there, and especially in these times, you can get some really nice budget optics, but it's hard to touch the clarity of a Leupold scope. Now this VX-2 is a 3-9x40, which I personally really like. If I ever wanted to take this off of here and throw it even on an AR, a 308, the 3-9x40 is just a really solid power. Now you could also get a VX-2 in a 2-7 I believe, as well as a 4-12. So it really depends what you want out of the optic. And guys, if you are familiar with Leupold, they make a wide variety of optics. They've even recently got into the electronic optics. They have optics that have the fire dot, they have the delta point, a few different options that I'm not too familiar with, but I would definitely like to check out in the near future. Now let's talk a little bit about the clarity of this optic. And guys, this goes for Leupold VX1s, 2s, all the way up to some of their $2,000 or $3,000 optics. I personally have owned a few VX1s. This is my first VX2, but I have had a VX3 as well. And it's just really hard to beat the clarity, even on the VX1s. You know, for that class of optic in the like $150 to $200 price range, you're really not going to beat the clarity of a Leupold optic. And this VX2 really surprised me when I got it in the mail. These things run, you know, a little under 250 bucks, all the way up to 300, depending on the setup that you want. But the clarity is outstanding. This optic does have quarter MOA adjustments, and as far as its clicks and turrets, they are very, very positive. Now, you can contact Leupold and get custom dials for this. I really don't see a need to do that with my 1022 here. The factory turrets have very, very positive clicks, and I don't want to go too crazy with it because I did sight this in at 50 yards. But we will take this thing out to the range soon, play around with it a little bit. You know, I always forget to do videos on a few guns that I have. I just feel like people are always wanting to see the newest, latest, and greatest. But every now and then it is fun to break out some of my older guns that I don't do a lot of videos on, just to play around with them a little bit. Another great thing with Leupold is they have a lifetime warranty. Whether you're the actual buyer from the factory or a store, or if I were to buy this optic and give it to a family member or friend, Leupold would still cover anything that happens to this on their lifetime warranty. This optic is waterproof, and they do put a diamond coating on the lens to help protect your lens. It's just ridiculous how clear the lens is, guys. I own a lot of optics, some expensive, some on the more budget side, but just the clarity of the Leupold VX2 is very, very outstanding for the money. Now let's touch base on my actual 1022 here. So starting from the ground up per se, this is sitting in a Hogue overmold stock. Really nothing fancy to it, but it is a very comfortable, very lightweight stock. Now what I really like about it is some of the texturing they have up front here, and that typical Hogue overmold rubber feel. It just feels really, really nice shooting, whether you're shooting in the rain, you know, it's hot outside, it's cold outside. The Hogue overmold stock is always a very comfortable option. Now the trigger that I decided to go with is just a Ruger BX25 trigger. I really didn't want to spend, you know, $200 on a Volquartsen or something. You know, I hear they're worth it, and I think if I were to build a very high-end 1022, that's probably what I would do. But for me, just plinking at the range, and for a rifle the kids are learning to shoot on, I think the BX25 trigger is well worth the money. This trigger pulls right about 2.5 pounds and is a huge improvement from the factory Ruger trigger. Now I also have an extended mag release. I want to say I ordered it off of eBay or Amazon, something like that. And that also is a big improvement from the factory Ruger mag release. Now I do have the factory Ruger receiver as well as bolt carrier group. I did upgrade the charging handle. So we do have an extended charging handle, and I also think that is something that I just ordered off of eBay. It gets the job done, and honestly guys, those are a few of the parts that I feel like, you can cut corners a little bit. Don't go with something that's the bottom of the barrel, but you can cut corners on certain things. Now the highlight of this gun in my eyes is this Tactical Solutions barrel. Now that I look back on it, I wish I would have got a threaded barrel to suppress this down the road. And I even had a buddy that bought one and was like, man, if you're going to order one, you might as well get a threaded barrel. And this was about 2 years ago, and I was like, no, I really don't need that. But now looking back, he was right, I was wrong. I wish I would have went threaded. But either way, this barrel is ridiculously sick. Now that is really what makes this build so lightweight, and I'm not exactly positive on the weight off the top of my head, but this barrel is ridiculously light. I also threw a bipod on here, and to be honest, the bipod does put on a little bit of weight, but it is nice to be able to throw this thing up on a table so the kids could shoot, or even going prone. So all in all guys, that is my Ruger 1022. That is the Leupold VX-2. I definitely think we're going to have a range day with this, maybe just do a fun plinking type video. It doesn't always have to be a product or something. That's something I'm trying to figure out with the channel as well. I love bringing you guys new products. It's awesome that companies are, working with us to get these products out to you guys. But I also want this channel to be, about fun and just, shooting in general. So I think some days, maybe once a month or something, we'll just go out to the range and have some fun. Now, I will leave links below to everything we talked about, especially that link to 1-800-GUNS and Ammo to save $15 on any order $20 or more. But that about wraps it up for the Leupold VX-2. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.